The madness is officially underway as Ohio hosted Cleveland State in the first round of the CollegeInsider.com tournament. A back-and-forth battle came down to the final 5 seconds as Ohio prevailed 64-62. In the dog days of the softball season, the Ohio Bobcats swept the Canisius Golden Griffins, winning 2 games Saturday afternoon. Speaking of dog days, it was bark at the park and the Pooches were out to play. Boy, did they need to step up tonight. Facing the best offense that they have seen all season in the Sheridan Generals, they were sure to be put to the test. Well, as long as we're in the kitchen, we may as well throw it back to MTV Cribs and take a look inside the fridge. So Molly, what do we have?
All right, let's take a look.
It was senior night at Maysville and the emotions were just flowing. The crowd was electric, and I'm not just talking about those Philo fans. With the game between these two teams last year being separated by only 1 point, I had a feeling that tonight's game would be another close matchup. Austin Jones, Austin Jones, Austin Jones, I can't say it enough. He had 31 attempts, 268 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Josh, I told you earlier in the week, he is the dog of the Scotties, and boy was he Friday night.
Colin, this knows for your team, they're losing a lot of starters and a lot of players for next season.
Well, Graham, they're losing 3 of their top 4 scorers in Jacob Blake, Mark Carter, and Clint Handa. Now that's 27 points per game that they're going to have to make up. What's really special about him is his defense. 14 tackles tonight. He had a forced fumble, a sack, 2 tackles for a loss. He led the Scotty defense on the year with 54.5 tackles through the first 10 games. Today we're at the Courtyard by Marriott in Hamilton, Ohio because it's game day and the Ohio Bobcats are taking on the Miami Redhawks. Match time is at 5 p.m. tonight, but Rise and Shine is at 8:30. So what do the Bobcats do for 8.5 hours? Or more specifically, what does Coach Tice do?
And I'm now joined by TVC Ohio reporter Colin Brown.
And Keith, you said to grab a plate, so it's a good thing that I grabbed my fork and knife. Sarah, I agree, because that definitely adds to the depth of the team. There's about 6 girls that I can think of who you can surely go to for a kill, as well as they're stacked across the back row. Coach Tice always says that a team will key in on something, and that's what they're going to stop. You have to find other ways to score. Colt Adams, through the first 4 games, has 52 passes. Tonight, 25 attempts. Then Alex Mount, the freshman running back, leads the league with 144 yards per game. Tonight, held to just 50. With their 3rd straight sweep of the weekend, the Bobcats defeated the Eastern Michigan Eagles and are your 2013 MAC tournament champions. Athens averages 58 points per game, and then Tri-Valley over 40 points per game. Both teams have great rushing attacks and are balanced with the ability to throw the football. So tonight featured 2 Gridiron Glory Titans clashing in an epic game of the week. The last time Ohio defeated Ball State in the first round of the MAC tournament was in 2010 when the Bobcats went on to win the tournament championship. I'm just saying. Cats return to action at 6:30 on Wednesday in the second round of the MAC tournament. They'll have a familiar foe in the Miami Redhawks. For WOUB Sports, I'm Colin Brown.
Peter definitely fits in with our team. I mean, he's a goofball. I mean, if you know our team, we're all like kind of goofy.
He always has a smile on his face. He always turns it into a joke, and that's what keeps us going, I guess, too. It makes us happy and have more fun in practice.
Meet Peter Netasinga, Ohio Volleyball's volunteer assistant coach.
I like playing with the girls. I like the way they fight. That's the kind of athlete, that's the kind of volleyball player I like to be, and I thought I am, and it's easy to play with them.
Every year we try and hire a volunteer who wants to become a full-time coach, and then we try to help them find a full-time job.
Netasinga graduated from the University of Wisconsin in 2012, but he and Tice met a few years ago at a setting camp in Texas, where Tice left a stinging impression.
We were playing beach volleyball outside on campus, and Tice got bit by a bug that he's allergic to.
I got stung by a bee and went into anaphylactic shock.
So we had to stab him in the leg with his EpiPen, get him to the hospital. And so I like to tell everyone that I got this job because I saved Tice's life.
Or maybe it's because of his talents on the court.
I can put the ball in different spots, I can hit it at different speeds, I hit on the way up, I hit on the way down, and that's tough for them to defend, which is why I challenge them to do that.
He's a really good coach that can hit hard at us, especially for the defenders.
He gives good feedback, he has a nice presence in the gym, and so that impact is helping us.
He is also of help off of the court as a liaison. Netasinga is only 23 years old and a similar age to the Lady Cats.
It makes it really fun to work with him, but at the same time he knows a lot about volleyball and what he's doing.
It's nice to have that point of view and be able to relate to what they're going through because I just finished school as well. And and understand that. It's helpful for hopefully the coaches to have me as kind of the intermediary.
Halfway through the season, he's enjoying his time here in Athens.
I'm glad to be here. Ohio's great, and go Bobcats.
Akron and Ohio. It's the biggest rivalry in Mid-American Conference basketball, and there was another edition of it on Saturday evening in Akron. After losing to the Zips in Athens just over a month ago, the Bobcats were hungry for revenge, and they got it. And they got it big. Ohio defeated Akron 66-50 in what was arguably their biggest win of the season. The 16-point victory was especially big for Ohio seniors who haven't won at Akron since their freshman season. And they had been on a skid against the Zips, having lost the previous 4 games before beating them on Saturday. Senior John Smith and Travis Wilkins led the way for Ohio, totaling 30 points on 13 of 15 combined shooting. Senior Jeremy Johnson, better known as Train, has been the conductor for Ohio wrestling over the past 4 seasons. He's second in program history in career wins and has a single-digit dual losses during his time as a Bobcat. Now, Sunday afternoon marked Johnson's final home matches in the Convocation Center, the last time Bobcat fans would see potentially the best wrestler in school history here in Athens. It was a battle of the best in the Mid-American Conference, Ohio's top-ranked defense versus Toledo's top-ranked offense. The Bobcats hosted the Rockets Saturday afternoon in the Convocation Center and pulled a major upset, winning 95-90 in overtime. Ohio trailed 69-58 with 9 minutes to play. When the offense caught fire, Travis Wilkins started things off with a corner three-pointer, and Nick Kellogg kept the hot hand with 2 more 3 balls. Ohio tied the game at 74 with a transition three-pointer from Stevie Taylor and took the lead with under 4 minutes to play on a Maurice Undor dunk. Toledo closed the half on a 5-0 run and tied the game at 83 to force overtime, but the Bobcats outscored the Rockets 12-7 in the extra period. There was a football game last night, but it was far from super. The greatest offense in the history of the NFL slated against the best defense in the NFL, projected to be one of the greatest matchups of all time. They say that offense wins games and defense wins championships, and whoever they are, well, they were proven right last night. The Seahawks took a 2-0 lead on the first play from scrimmage, and they never looked back. Malcolm Smith intercepted NFL MVP Peyton Manning and took it to the house, giving Seattle a 22-0 lead at the half. Percy Harvin started the second half with an 87-yard kick return that ended any hope Broncos fans might have had. Sorry, Ryan Boyd. Seattle dominated every aspect of the game, winning 43-8. And they're on their way to Disney World, Blaine, a place I would like to be on my way to right now because these cold temperatures and that 8 inches of snow is just too much to handle.